Hindi pala na-record. Right? Sabi natin nung last meeting, a being will or can produce another being. Tama? Tama, mali. Brother Jester, tama ba yun? The statement or wrong? Brother. Can a being create another being or not? Or can a being be the source of the being of another being?
Yes, sir.
Wala? Yes or no lang ang sagot, brother? Wala naman. How about you,
Yes, sir.
Joshua?
Yes.
Oh, yes. No, yes. But then sabi dito sa notes, sometimes this cause and effect is hindi lang siya paggawa ng being. Kung maaalala natin, if there is a being, there is already a perfection. Because the perfection of, or yung form ng existence mo pa lang, or yung bagay na nag-exist ka pa lang is already a perfection. It is a what? A perfection of existence. Kaya lang sabi dito, some creations or causes and effects could also lead to evil kapag merong lack or loss. Parang yung fire. Yes, a fire can create an ash by burning a paper. Pero by creating that ash, di ba, abo, kailangan niyang sunugin yung papel. And the papel have a lack of protecting itself from heat and light or heat and fire. So masusunog siya. And that's a form of lack. So yon. In short, a being is not just a cause of an existence of another being. It could also cause evil upon another being. Gets? Or may tanong ba dun? Gets ba yun? Guys, nandiyan pa kayo?
Yes, sir, nandito pa.
Gets mo, Gabi?
Konti lang, sir.
Ano yung hindi mo na gets para ma-explain natin ng mabuti?
Yung sa may perfection kanina, sir, yung sa part ng tawag dito? Basta
Being,
yung sa part
existence.
Oo.
Kasi nga sa last mga napag-aralan natin, 'di ba? Kapag nag-exist na ang being, meron at meron siyang perfection na hawak, 'di ba? Doon sa concept ng one, true and good. That's already a form of perfection. Kapag ina-attain mo yung one, true and good. 'Di ba? Sabi natin, yun yung goal palagi ng isang being. To be one or united, to reach for this goodness, and to reach for truth. In short, to be perfect. Kaya lang, syempre, contingent beings could never be 100% perfect. Except for necessary being, syempre. And there is one perfection na kaya natin lahat perfectin. And what is that? The perfection of existence. Kapag nag-exist ka na, you have already perfected the perfection of existence. Bakit? Kasi galing ka lang dati sa what do you call this? You're just a potential being. Wala ka pa. And then naging actual being ka, that's already a perfection of existence. Gets na?
Thank you, sir.
Gets mo na, Gabi?
Opo, sir. Thank you po.
How about you, Giselle? May tanong ka?
Sir, sa per accidents nga, sir.
Anong per accidents?
Yung sa
It
nine
just
accident.
means that a being could also cause evil upon other beings. Kasi 'di ba napag-aralan natin that through cause and effect, tulad nga ng necessary being, creating a contingent being, or a contingent being, creating another contingent being. Pwedeng, di ba, ang main concept lang dun is that a being can create another being. Kaya lang, ang ine-explain dito sa notes is that sometimes creations are not always beings. Sometimes they are evil. Kasi may kaakibat na lack or loss. Kaya nagkakaroon ng evil. So that's what per accidents mean. Naka-create siya ng something, but it's not a being. That's why it's an accident. Therefore, it is evil. Gets?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ikaw, Brother Josh Jester, may tanong?
Wala, sir.
About you, Brother Joshua?
Wala din, sir.
About you, Brother Stephen? Nagets ba? Nagets?
Wala
Brother?
din, sir.
Okay. So, hindi ko na maintindihan yung notes kasi masyado ng blur. Pero that's what we call per accidents. Per accidents is the scholastic phrase that reminds us that the cause produces directly not a lack or loss but another being. No? So, about sa evil naman to, sabi niya, to us why men and things are liable to suffer evils is to us why men and things can lose or lack perfections. To us why an animal can fall sick is to us why it can lose the perfection of health. To us why man is liable to death is to us why he is liable to lose his existence as living. In short, yun yung concept ngayon ng evil sa metaphysics. It's the lack or loss, or in short, the privation of goodness or the privation of perfection. So yun. It is when a thing is made up of parts that parts can be lost. Were a thing wholly simple in such a manner as to be absolutely partless, it would in no way be liable to lose any part. In short, if a being is perfectly one, do you remember the concept of the aspect of being as one? Diba sabi doon, the more united or the more simpler the being, the more perfect it is. Therefore, the more that it could not be divided. And yun lang yung sinasabi dito. Hanggang mas nagkakaroon lang ng oneness ang isang being, mas nagiging hindi siya pwedeng hati-hatiin. Kasi nga one lang siya. Walang parts kasi nga one lang. So, yun lang yung sinasabi dito. In short, as long as a being has parts, as long na as ang isang being ay may parts, then it would be subject to evil or subject to corruption, subject to destruction, subject to non-existence. Gets? Okay ba? So next sabi niya, from this, we see that the liability of beings to lose or lack parts, i.e. perfections, follows that the fact they are composites, or in short, made up of parts. And there are many parts of which a being is made. So madaming parts ang being. We have esse and existence, substance and accidents, matter and form. Actually, ito lang yung simple na definition ng mga to. Pero kung titignan nyo yung notes nyo, starting from after ng page 17, i-explain lahat ang essence and existence, substance and accidents, tsaka matter and form. So we will not delve deeper into them kasi matatakal lang din naman natin siya. Basta ang tandaan nyo lang, um, ito yung parts or metaphysical parts ng being. SN, existence, substance and accidents, matter and form. So point number 10. The next existence or the next question is expected. Why should contingent beings be made of metaphysical parts? To ask why a contingent reality is made up of metaphysical parts is to inquire into the root of reality's limitation. It is to ask why a contingent being lacks metaphysical wholeness or incorruptible integrity. A contingent has perfection and perfections, but these are limited of necessity. It is the easiest thing to say, of course, that the creature is limited because the creator wanted it to be so. But metaphysical analysis shows this easy answer to be wrong. Again, itong question na to, no, bakit may metaphysical parts ang isang being, is para mo na ring tinatanong, bakit subject to decay ang being? Bakit pwede siyang mag-cease to exist or hindi na siya mag-exist? Or in short, bakit namamatay ang being kung may buhay man yung being na yan? So, yun lang yung meaning ng question or metaphysical question na why does a contingent being or why should a contingent being have metaphysical parts? So sabi dito, metaphysically, kapag sinabi mong because the creator wanted it so, or in short, kasi sabi ni God, para sa metaphysics, that's not a accepted answer. Kasi nga mawawalan na ng silbi ang metaphysics or ang philosophy in that way. Kung lahat ng tanong na hindi mo masagot, ang sagot mo ay kasi sabi ni God. 'Di ba? So, sabi ni Sir Matt, mas baling babae daw ang sagot. So, yon. Sabi dito, if the creature were limited because God wanted it to be limited, some insoluble problems would be, hindi ko gets yung notes, pero sabi niya, that the evil creatures suffer an account of their limitations. Hindi ko na mabasa yung notes. Next page na. No. Basta in short, hindi pwedeng maging argument na kaya may ganito yung question, no? Bakit may metaphysical parts ang being? Sige nga. How about you, Brother Stephen? Sa tingin mo, bakit may metaphysical parts ang being? Or in short, yung question na yun is, bakit ikaw pwede kang mamatay? Pwede kang maagnas, no? Pwede kang mag-decay. Brother.
Sir?
Ikaw as a being, bakit kaya namamatay ka? Or bakit pwede kang hindi mag-exist anytime now?
Kasi doon po sa hindi tayo immortal, sir.
O yun nga, bakit hindi tayo immortal?
Sir, pwede i-relate ko sa Biblia.
Yun yung point ng notes natin. No, kasi kapag sinasabi daw natin na dahil gusto ni God, then wala na yung sense ng philosophizing. Kaya lang, alalahanin natin na ang metaphysics or ang Thomistic metaphysics is presented or is originating from the concepts of Thomas Aquinas. And kaya meron ang Thomistic metaphysics para kay Thomas Aquinas because he wanted to apply it to his religion, which is Christianity. Kaya hindi mo tama yung gagawin ni Brother Stephen na i-connect niya ang Biblia siguro from thus we came and unto thus we shall return. 'Di ba? Kasi nga, hindi mo yung matatanggal. Yun yung reason ba't nag-philosophize si Aquinas para intindihin ang Christian scriptures. No, pero sabi dito, the wisdom, goodness, and power of God which are perfect, owing to the fact that He is pure act or pure perfection, do not allow us to attribute evil to God. In short, evil does not come from God. Consequently, He cannot be lacking in goodness, wisdom, or power. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na may evil kasi or hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na nanggaling ang evil kay God. Kasi pag ganun, hindi na siya all good. Wala na siyang goodness. And a perfect creature is a contradiction in terms to be perfect. Its existence could not have been received from anyone or anything else. As creature, it receives its existence from the Creator. So if a creature's limitations cannot be blamed on God, then they can be vestiges of a creature's origination from nothingness, from the fact that whatever perfection a creator has is received from another. In short, kung sinasabi ng Bible na kaya may evil, kaya namamatay ang tao, kaya may decay, kaya may non-existence, is because of God. Sasabihin niya, it's the will of God. Pero sa metaphysics, ang sagot is sabi dito, it's because man or beings or contingent beings were nothing from the beginning. Example, si Brother Ivan. Before siya nag-exist, he was nothing. Wala siya. And dahil dun na nothing, dun nanggagaling yung kanyang pagiging imperfect. So yun yung sagot bakit may parts ang metaphysical beings. Gets? Gets ba yun? In short, ang magiging perfect lang na being is ang being na walang pinanggalingan yung perfection niya. Diba? Kasi lahat ng contingent being may pinanggalingan. Therefore, limited lang din yung perfection nila. Kasi hindi sila completely perfect. May tanong? May tanong? Hi guys, nandiyan pa kayo?
None, sir.
John Mark, Gabi, any questions?
Sir, anong purpose nitong nakasulat dito na pain is more painful because we do not know to learn to give up? Sinong nagsulat nito?
Ang notes na to ay kay Kuya Glenn. Tignan niyo sa pinakaunang page. Seminarian, Glenn Nicole Pagayaran, AB Philosophy 3. So, siya ang nagsulat niyan. Maybe, siguro nung nagle-lecture sila, in-explain. Or kinonek, no? Sabi ni Sir Matt, baka sinulat lang daw para may maisulat. Hindi ko rin alam. Hindi rin kasi na-explain sa akin ni Father. Actually, si Father ang teacher ko dito. No, pero, yun. In short, yung sinasabi ko nga, hindi perfect ang contingent beings kasi hindi sa kanila galing ang kanilang perfection. Kung meron man silang na perfection, that is their perfection of existence. Yun lang ang kayang i-perfect ng isang contingent being na nag-exist siya. Pero other than that, kung meron mang other perfections ang isang contingent being, ang tawag dun ay added perfection. Letter H sa notes ninyo. Or punta muna tayo sa letter G, no, para mas magets. In other words, the only perfections a creature has are those it received and nothing more. Not because God withheld it from anything more, but because originally it had nothing and was nothing. No matter the magnitude, degree, or extent of perfection a creature receives from God, such perfection will always be limited because originally the creature has nothing and was nothing. In short, hiram lang yung kanyang pagiging perfect kasi nga hindi siya necessary being. Gets? May tanong? Ikaw, Giselle, may tanong ka?
Sir,
Hmm.
evil ba ang death?
Metaphysically, yes, because it is the absence of life. So yes, death is evil. Pero siyempre, biblically, hindi. Kasi nga sabi nga ni Augustine yun, Kuya Sir Matt, no? Yung nagsabi na hindi yung about sa death na we are just pilgrims, ganun. Sa kanya yun, no? Yes, yung sabi niya na we are just pilgrims of this earth and true citizens of heaven. So biblically, death is something na looking forward to because you will return to your creator. But metaphysically, no, it is evil because it is the um lack of life or the absence, privation of life. Any more
Sir.
clarification? O ano yun?
Sir, if that is evil, sorry sir, maingay. Sir, if that is evil in metaphysical discussion, then yung existence natin is good,
Yes, because it's
without,
the
even though without our permission to be exist.
your actions, Gabi, are forms of beings, right?
Yes,
Kasi
sir.
they are something. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Did your actions ask you first before you acted out?
Ano, sir?
Paano ba? You have creations, right? May mga ginawa ka.
Yes, sir.
For example, sabihin na lang drawing. Kunwari may na-drawing ka. Ngayon ang tanong ko sa'yo, tinanong ka ba nung drawing mo kung gusto niyang mag-exist before mo siya drawing?
No.
Precisely. Ganon din yung existence mo as a contingent being.
Sir, pero bakit kasi tayo nag-exist ng basta ganun, iniisip ko, no, kung nag-exist tayo, ba't nag-exist tayo nang wala man lang kasi tayong permission, tapos may nahihirapan tayo sa life, tapos mamamatay tayo ngayon nang
That's a
wala,
very existential question. Tanong ko rin
diba?
yan minsan. But then I have this quote. I don't know kung kanino galing. Nalimutan ko na, pero narinig ko lang. Sabi niya, there are two most important days in your life. The day you were born. Stable pa ba ako? Naririnig ba ako?
Nawala ka konti kanina, sir.
Okay na?
Okay na po.
Sabi nung quote, there are two more most important days in your life. First is the day you were born, and second is the day you realize what your purpose is on this earth. So, yun lang yung share ko dyan. I hope you find whatever your purpose is on this earth, Gabi.
Thank you, Sir Andrew.
Any more questions?
Sir,
Oh,
Na-attain ba ni Siddhartha Gautama yung perfection?
in the ideas of Buddhism, of course, yes. He attained what he called nirvana or enlightenment or perfect enlightenment. Pero syempre, magkakaiba tayo ng concepts. Alalahanin nyo na ang Buddhism, even Hinduism, or I should say Buddhism lang ata, they don't really have these concepts of gods. Para sa kanila, knowledge, ideas, come from within. Kaya nga nagme-meditate sila, di ba? Yung nakaganon sila. They meditate because they want to answer things from within instead of from the outside. Kaya yon. Pero if your question is, did Siddhartha Gautama achieve perfection? Para sa kanya, oo. Pero dahil namatay siya, hindi lang din. Kasi contingent being lang din naman siya. So, yon. Pero of course, meron siyang perfection na na-attain. And that is the perfection of existence. Yun lang naman ang natatanging perfection na kaya nating i-attain. With that is the perfection of the existence. Yon. Any more questions? No? Gandang tanong, no? Trying to relate a religion to another form of religion. Any more? Any more? Oh, nagtanong na si Brother Joshua. How about you? Brother Ivan or Stephen? Chester, wala kayong tanong? Or wala kayong gustong idagdag? So next topic na karon. I mean next paragraph. Sabi dito, letter H. A creature therefore has metaphysical parts basically because it must be receptive to perfection. Principally the perfection of existence or what we call primary perfection. Underline nyo na yan. Which it merely receives and does not have from itself. Analogously, it acquires added perfections or secondary perfections. Underline na din to what it is. These perfections scholastics classify as accidents. Yung sabi ko nga kanina, 'di ba? Yung sa may essence, existence, substance, accidents, matter and form. And lastly, the fundamental negativity then from which all limitations, ills, and sufferings of a creature can be traced is the nothingness out of which God created. In short, lahat ng negativities or lahat ng imperfections ng isang being could be attributed and traced from its original nothingness. In short, kaya tayo hindi perfect kasi hindi tayo nagsimulang perfect. Kaya tayo hindi perfect kasi nagsimula tayo as nothing. Gets? In short, kapag tinanggal mo ang evil sa mundo, then it follows na tatanggalin mo na rin lahat ng being. Gets ba yun? Pag tinanggal mo na ang concept ng evil or idea ng imperfection, then you have to remove all beings. And of course, hindi yun pwedeng mangyari. So last page, traditional answers have revolved around the conviction that in God's schemes of things, there is always a plan, a purpose, and consequently something good in the evil that creatures suffer. In short, behind the suffering, maybe there is goodness. Yun lang yung maybe a religious answer sa question na why is there suffering or why is there evil. And it is also important to point out that when one maintains a subjectivist position vis-a-vis values, he cannot use the problem of evil to question God's existence. One subjectivist position would force one to admit that what is evil for oneself need to be so for others, for the greater world order, or for God Himself. Ang ibig lang sabihin ng phrase na yun is, hindi mo pwedeng itanong na, why is there evil kung nag-exist si God? Kasi kapag yun daw yung tanong mo, then, inaamin mo na yung evil para sa'yo, dapat evil rin sa ibang tao, which is sometimes ethics, which is another field of philosophy. There is what we call subjectivist philosophy. Kaya that question or that argument is not valid. So yun, may tanong pa? Any reaction? May tanong, guys?
None, sir.
Oh, sige. Anong natutunan mo ngayon, Brother Ivan? Wala, sir.
Sir, just tell the music. Ni,
Actually, ginagawa ko to sa first year ko kasi dadalawa sila. Kaya lang hindi ko palaging magawa sa inyo kasi madami kayo. Pero gawin natin kasi madami pa namang time. Ivan, anong natutunan mo?
hello, sir.
Disconnect mo muna to.
Wait lang, sir, to the J mic with this, sir.
Sige, sige.
Sir,